You are wondering when is the best time to buy a home? Well, in this video, we're going to go over the facts, the data that tells us when is statistically the absolute best time to actually purchase a home. And stay tuned towards the end of this video, and I'm going to give you my #1 tip that comes to actually buying that home. Let's dive right into this data. This goes back to 03. This is North Texas, including Dallas-Fort Worth. This is our MLS. This is straight facts here, guys. This is data. Average price, $167 in 03. Then you have a peak in June and July. You will see that theme over and over, June and July. Typically June is going to be your peak. See another trough here, 05, January. Another trough, 06, January. We all remember the great financial crisis, which we'll have coming up here. 07, January. 08, January. 09, January. And again, look, year over year, that was your great recession, great financial crisis. Another thing I'd like to point out, your peak, 08 here, and let's call it 07. Look, we're 3 years. Dallas-Fort Worth took 3 years to recover in prices. I just wanted to point that out. A lot of other areas took a decade to actually recover their equity. We took 3 years to actually recover and then add some. And then from there, we were pretty stable, but we still gained year over year until you see 2013. And then what do we see in 13? Nice and steady rise. So let's see this nice steady rise where the trough is, right? Where's your bottom, absolute bottom price in an annual calendar year? January. Look right here. January 15, 16, January. I'm not manipulating this, guys. This is just the facts. January 17, another trough here. January 18, trough. January 19. So what does this mean? This means closings in January have the lowest average price. And when you get that lowest average price, you get the most amount of equity you can get in a calendar year. And I will show you here in a second, like what we're looking at. If you buy in January and in that June or July, you see the price of your home, it's going to astonish you. I'm telling you, it really does jump at me when I look at the numbers, and I like numbers. I'm a numbers guy. So let's look January. Let's say you bought in 16, and you waited for January. Look at this price difference, $242,000, $288,000 in June. Let's do it again, 17, $270,000. Look at this, $310,000. I'm telling y'all, this information I don't hear talked about enough. If you can control it, get under contract November, December, and guess what? That's right now. Today is election day. When all this blows over, there's going to be a lot of money coming off the sidelines. From my understanding, my clientele, a lot of people want to see who's going to win the election. Everybody's got who they want to win, but regardless, we have a lot of money on the sideline. So now let's dive into post-COVID, which is not normal markets, right? Your normal market is I would say 13 to 19, the way everything's run nowadays. Let's take a peek here. So 03 to call it 12, right? Before the rise, you had a 218,000. Let's do the peak. 189,000. So that's not a ton of equity, right? If we go into one of these housing markets, you basically have like a savings account, but you're not going to get a ton of appreciation. Dallas-Fort Worth is a boom town now. There's a lot of big companies have moved to Dallas-Fort Worth, giant Fortune 100, Fortune 500 companies. So that is a big influx. Let's take a look at COVID, right? Post-COVID, the housing market craze we all know about. We actually peaked in June 2022 at 496,000. Now, I've talked to a few friends and they couldn't believe it when I told them this. We broke that high this year. Average house in Dallas-Fort Worth mainly. Now, this does include a little bit out of that, but this main data here is Dallas-Fort Worth because there's so much inventory that trades hands here. We're looking at 500,000. People cannot believe that we broke that this year. Look at this. Well, let's check it. So May, 500,000. Let's look at the mortgage rate. Let's get April, probably right in here. These are the mortgages, right? A 7% mortgage is probably what a lot of 6.8 to 7. That's what the mortgage rate these people were closing. We're breaking all-time highs here. That information tells me that there's still a lot of people on the sidelines, a lot of people that want to trade up, trade down, that are in those 3%, 4% and under mortgages. These people couldn't wait. And honestly, still a lot of transplants. We're getting so many transplants from other cities. I know I've seen Dallas at a mass migration out. A few of the other cities they're migrating to are just locally. They're right up the street. They're like Frisco. They're 10 minutes from Dallas or an hour from Dallas in the Metroplex. They're not exactly leaving Texas, right? So don't let that mislead you. So let's see how mortgage rates correlate with this nice little run here. 13 to, let's pre-COVID 20, okay? It looks like the average mortgage rate, we were bouncing around. It looks like about a 4.5. Let's call it a 4.5 right in here. It seems like that's the average. Yeah, you're probably looking at 4.5. So what that would tell me, at 4.5, we're gonna have a healthy market, right? Real estate market where things trade. You get 3 to 5% appreciation year over year, top peak to peak. Not if you buy like we're talking right now. You're gonna get a lot more appreciation even in that 6 months. Like, that's proven, right? We've proven that. The question is, where are we gonna go from here? The truth is, nobody knows. Anybody that tells you they know, they're flat out lying. Nobody has a crystal ball. Mortgage rates should be coming down soon, even though it's not tied with the Federal Reserve, which we proved that in a previous video. Once you check it out here, they're not tied to that Fed funds rate, but it will influence it over time. It is more tied to that 10-year Treasury note. A lot of money trades there, but that's where the 30-year mortgage typically trades with, not the Fed funds rate. Now, as we decrease rates coming up, that's the plan. We'll see. Maybe they won't, maybe they will. They're likely to, but who knows? The fact that we broke this peak in May of 2024 tells me this area is not as interest rate sensitive as others. Okay, we do have more supply than we've ever had. I'll show you that here. See this? And we still broke that high. You had a 19 that build up. We were here 4 months. This is a neutral market, yet our price is still carried. A lot of that, from my experience, are the higher average price homes, 700, 800 plus. Those trading really does help this average price. So as you can see, the best time to buy a house is now. November and December is when you want to get under contract. You will close generally in January. So the data tells us now is the best time to buy. And that number one tip we were talking about is time. If you have time on your side, you can do this. You can come out here and buy in January at 190,000, and then by summertime it's 240,000, or let's go recent times, 434 to 487,000. Guys, this can make a big impact on your net worth, on your future, on your kids' future. I do not hear many people talking about this, and this is very important. I myself am looking to buy a home in the next 2 months because I know this data. I know the demand. Nobody wants to move around Christmas. Nobody wants to move around Thanksgiving. And you do not have to do that. You can set your closing around the holidays, okay? You can have your Thanksgiving, and then between Thanksgiving and Christmas, get settled in your home. You can have your Christmas between Christmas and January, middle of January, close on your home, move in. Start a new year with your new house. If you can help it, I'm telling you, right now is the best time to buy. If you have any questions and you want to look at a specific city, let's say Mansfield, Frisco, etc., give me a call or text. We can discuss it, and we can maybe find your next home in the next couple of months, which is the best time to buy. We'll see you on the next one. Thanks.